for celebrities, politics, sports, and anything else that might be relevant, you join us in News HQ for Mr. Hurleys Evening News. Good evening and welcome to Mr. Hurleys Evening News, bringing you the news so you don't have to. My name is Mark Hurley and you join me here in News Headquarters. I'm wearing a Christmas tie. Now, in today's news, my mug is still missing. We are up to about a week now with no mug. Mr. Hurley himself, head of News Headquarters, said in a press conference today, "I dreadfully miss him. Please, any news, please call the number below. We want him back." Yes, and following on what Mr. Hurley said in the press conference, any news on the mug, please call the number below, and hopefully a safe return for him for Christmas. Right. Let's get on to the news. This evening we are going to be looking at Star Wars. We are going to look at what's been happening in Afghanistan. We're going to be looking at some sports news. We're also going to be looking at the Democratic debate, the third and final one, and we are also going to look at the polls for the US primaries. Let's get this cracking. Right. First of all in the news, Star Wars is an absolute smash hit in the box office. It's been taken in an estimate of $517 million. That is the equivalent of £347. This is globally, worldwide, and I think this is absolutely glorious news to be giving. Also, I can't wait personally to see the new Star Wars film, and hearing news like this about it being a smash hit and taking in all this money, absolutely smashing the box office, I think one, it's going to stay at number one for a very long time, and two, I just really cannot wait to see it. So that's why I think, so all those people who didn't have any faith in Star Wars whilst Disney bought it, didn't have any faith in seeing the new Star Wars film, I thought it was going to be rubbish. I hope they're eating their words, and I'm enjoying that sight. Right, now we go on to sports. I've never really seen a sports segment before, I don't really know what sports is. But, and the UEFA president, Michael, or Mikel, we'll call him Michael Platini, has been given an 8-year ban on their involvement in FIFA, UEFA, and what they're actually doing in the sports. And that's because that these two gentlemen absolutely adore money. They eat money, they sleep with money, they take money out to dinner, they just rub themselves in money every night before they take a bath. This is what sources have said. Now, really, this is what they're going to get, really, for their just desserts for being just dreadfully corrupt. And it seems like they're having a very hard time. Not that there's any bias against certain people on Mr. Hurley's Evening News. Right, okay then, let's crack on. Now, the Taliban, currently in Afghanistan, are very near to taking a very important strategic town in the province of Helmand. Now, this town is either pronounced Sanjin or Sangin, but they are very close to taking this town. I think this is quite unsettling news, really, because it's history kind of repeating itself as they're really rearing their ugly heads again, and we'll just have to keep a close eye on how these events are going to progress. Hopefully security forces in the area will be able to hold them back. Now we are going to go back to US politics now. It is that time of the evening to discuss the Democratic debate. Now, it was the third and final debate for the Democratic Party, where Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders and Martin O'Malley have gone up against each other. Now, Hillary Clinton's been getting a lot of coverage in the news, of course she would, but she's been getting a lot of coverage for this statement where she has attacked Donald Trump, saying that he is ISIS's biggest recruiter. Now, in some states you've actually got to agree with her, because the absolute idiocy which is Donald Trump with his banning of Muslims entering the USA and his real hatred speech and it's just absolutely awful to watch a man kind of in that position of power talk with such hatred and anger in his voice, and it's absolutely crazy. I mean, the man's an absolute clown, but at least we know that if he doesn't end up pursuing a political career after he hopefully loses, he can easily go into stand-up comedy, as he's got absolutely tons of laughs around the world, and this is going to get him tons more money, and hopefully this time with it he won't go bankrupt. So that's why, from Mr. Hurley's Evening News to you, Donald Trump, we've got one message for you, which is, we hope you lose. Now, it's that part of the evening. What we're going to look at is we are going to look at the polls now for the US primary elections. Now, currently these are still just prediction polls, so opinion polls, in the Democrats, a lot of the other party members have pulled out of the election. They have pulled out if they're running. So there is only Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders and Martin O'Malley left. Martin O'Malley has absolutely flatlined across this whole campaign, and even in the debate people have knocked him for just giving a really kind of boring campaign, and it's kind of just shown what he's been doing. But now Hillary Clinton is up in the polls currently with 58.1%. She is leading massively now, and I think when she even announced she was going to be running for president, I think she's pretty much got that one in the bag. She's been leading ever since. Bernie Sanders making a lot of noise, and is coming up trying to make a lot of storm as well, coming up in second, but still that's quite a lead now Hillary Clinton's got on him. I don't think he's going to be able to catch up at this point, but these are just opinion polls, so we'll have to see what the actual primaries turn out to say. Now we are going to go to the Republicans, and I've only picked the first top 3 of the Republicans. Now we've got Donald Trump. Yes, Donald Trump, he's still at the top, and he's got 37.8% of that vote in the opinion polls. Ted Cruz is coming second with 16.7%, and Marco Rubio is coming in with 10.7% of the opinion poll. Hopefully, with Donald Trump still leading, hopefully this is absolutely crazy talk, but just the thought of Donald Trump being in control of a country, and that country having to be America, one of the most powerful countries in the world, with Donald Trump at the helm leading the country, is absolutely crazy. Just think about that. So fingers crossed someone might come out of the woodwork and might give him some competition, or hopefully we'll just have to see what happens when the actual votes come in for the primaries. Fingers crossed, we're not rooting for you, Trump. Right, now it is that time of the news where we are going to the weather room. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark, have you got the weather for us today? Are we rolling? Yep. Hi there, my name is Mark. You join me once again in the weather room, and welcome to Mr Hurleys Evening News Low Budget Weather Report. Now, it's getting into that festive season now. Just this week it is going to be Christmas on Friday. Shall we see if it's getting colder? Let's find out. It's time, without further ado, for the weather report. Well, what we could really tell outside is there's a little bit of a breeze going on. It's a lot colder than usual. There's a thin layer of cloud outside, but the moon is still visible. Now, if I was you and if I was going out this evening, which sadly I'm not, I never go out, I would wear gloves, a coat and a scarf. Maybe this time you might even want to upgrade and go for a hat. Now, if you do not live in the United Kingdom, please proceed to look out of your window, and there in front of you is your weather report for this evening. I've been Mark Hurley. Once again, you've been here in the weather room, and this is us saying, we don't have the budget. Thank you very much. Back to you, Mark. Brilliant. Thank you very much, Mark. Make sure you keep what he says in mind. Right. Well, I hate to say it, my friends, but we have come to that point of the evening where I've got to love you and leave you. I've enjoyed spending my time with you, and I hope that you've enjoyed spending time with me. Right, I am Mark Hurley. You've been in the News HQ. I will see you Wednesday. Good evening and good night, friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching Mr. Hurley's Evening News. Thank you very much for stopping by, and remember to tune in on Monday, Wednesday, and especially for our Friday specials. Leave a like and a comment. Thank you and good night.